Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And thank you so much for joining us for another chat. Rosetta and I want you to know that we're very, very grateful that you spend this time with us. And all we ask is that you are very kind and loving in your approach. We don't want to hear the negativity. We are all about love and light. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for reminding us every week. I love it. And thank you for you people watching out there for joining us again for another one of our chats. If you're new, well, I want to say thank you so much for jumping on and checking out our chats, and hopefully you like them. And if you're returning, welcome and thank you back. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and you can hit that thumb icon so that we know that you've watched our videos and like it.
Yes.
And the bell notification.
You'll get a little ding, ding, ding to let you know when we drop something new.
Yep.
So
the teas, right?
That's right.
If you're new, what we do is we start off by talking about the tea that we're going to be chit-chatting to.
Yes.
And today we are drinking a company called Yogi. We love this company because, you know, if you're a regular, we've had many different flavors of Yogi. And this one in particular is called Mango Ginger.
Yes.
Supports health digestion. We all need that, right?
Yes.
We need good digestion. And the ingredients here are, this is all organic.
Yes.
So got to do that. Caffeine free, and it's a herbal supplement. And the ingredients are ginger root, cinnamon bark, and rooibos leaf, licorice root, my favorite, fennel seed, which is very similar to licorice, and we have cardamom pod and mango.
Yes.
So I wish mango was on top because it says mango ginger.
ginger.
So mango is going to be the least.
Yeah, but ginger is going to be the more vibrant.
Well, I love ginger, so
I do too. It smells
good. So that's Yogi.
Yes.
We've had it seeping. We love the smell. We're going to wake it up. And let's give it a try.
Yes.
Like it.
Smells good.
Smells really fruity and aromatic. I love it.
So,
cheers. Cheers, everyone. Very fruity. Surprising.
Very surprising that the ginger isn't overwhelming, even though the ginger was the first ingredient.
And it's surprising I don't taste the licorice, because usually I'm like, licorice root, and it also has fennel, so it should be double the taste. But sometimes what happens is when the tea gets colder, the flavors come up more.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll get more of the other flavors, the licorice that we want, and the ginger. But it's very good.
Very good. I like it. So, as always, our thoughts and prayers go out to the universe. We want a peaceful, kind, loving existence on planet Earth. We want to take care of Mother Earth, and we want Mother Earth to take care of us by allowing us to stay and to live on this planet. So, as always, our central thoughts are with our children. You know, figuring out ways to empower our children to be the best that they can be, so that they can grow up and be the individual that they think that they came to planet Earth to be. Not what mommy says, daddy says, grandma says, grandpa, etc. You know, try and just love your children and support your children, because the world is so chaotic. I'm so grateful that I'm not a child right now, because I mean, everything comes at them so fast all the time. They don't get that down quality time, because people, what was it? Today is Wednesday, so that means on, I think it was either yesterday Facebook and Instagram was down.
Oh, I think it was it yesterday or Monday?
Yeah,
I think
maybe
it may have been Monday.
However, people were going crazy, and they're like, I want to be compensated for the stress of it being down. So if you have children, please have a no phone, no pad zone within your house, where when they come home, they spend some time with you first.
I know my son didn't say anything about it. He didn't even care.
I know. That's the blessing.
Yeah.
That's the blessing. And that's
Yeah.
what we want for all children. It's like, if I feel like it, I'll do it. If I don't feel like it, I won't. Not that I have to. And a lot of our children right now feel like they have to, because if they don't, they're going to miss something.
Yeah. So if you're a regular with our chats and you watch our chats a lot, we have done a major chat just on raising kids and how, it comes from top down. We always talk about it.
Right.
So you will never not hear us
Yes.
on any chats not talking about kids
Yes.
and families and raising, because our kids are our future.
Yes.
And what we want is for them to be raised so that is our society moving forward, right?
Yes.
Because children become adults and adults make up the society.
Yeah.
So we want vibrant, healthy, well-behaved children, and children that can think on their own and make their own decisions, but loved by their parents and guided.
Exactly. So yesterday was Super Tuesday around the United States, and California happened to be one of the locations that we went and cast our votes. And they were saying, oh, it's going to be low numbers. The numbers were okay. The outcome, not necessarily what people wanted. The most important thing is, did you vote? Did you vote? If you did, comment below and let us know. You don't have to go into, I voted for this person or that person for this reason. That's not what we're after. We're after, like we just said, with our children, we want to teach them how to be individuals and how to make their own decision. A lot of what's going on in the United States right now is very chaotic, because there are people who only want one person to have autonomous power, so that they can say what is and is not, and that's a dictatorship.
Exactly.
So that's not the way that we want to go for our children. We want our children to have a leader who cares more about our children and their lives and than they do themselves personally.
Exactly.
So don't know how things turned out. We had one proposition here, and it's to support the veterans and the mental health, which hadn't been updated for, I think they said something like 1947.
Yeah, a long time, because the veterans get kind of left on the wayside.
And it's really sad, because they give up their life and they go to fight in these wars. And when they come home, the government, the people of our country, we don't do anything to transition them back into a good life.
Yeah, I remember, I think, when Michelle Obama was First Lady, wasn't she doing something with, who was it? The Vice President's wife. They were doing something for veterans, right? So
Absolutely.
I wonder what ever happened, because we don't hear about that. But
yeah,
but I know that they're very, both of them are big supporters of the veterans. Yeah,
absolutely. And even yesterday they tried to play a sneaky and said that Michelle was considering running for president.
She's never going to do that.
No, she watched what happened with her husband. She will never ever do that. However, she said that she is for the existing president, and she's going to do some campaigning.
Oh, good.
So that'll be good. We'll get a chance to see, our previous First Lady, Michelle, out and about. Speaking of First Ladies, I haven't seen Melania in...
That is,
years.
We haven't seen her since Trump left the Oval House.
Yeah, was that 2020?
Yeah, we haven't seen her nor heard of her. You don't even see her in any of the, because Trump is always on TV every day. You never see her in the background.
Yeah.
You know what? I think she's done. She didn't even, I don't even, to be honest, she doesn't want him to run again.
Right.
She didn't like it the first time around, and she doesn't like it again. And this time, she's really shown that she doesn't like it by not even showing up in anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going on. If you've seen her, heard from her, please comment below and let us know.
She's sick and tired.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm thinking. Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I love that. I love it. So sort of kind of, going from our veterans and mental health, we're going to kind of shift into Wendy Williams. As we shared with you last week, we watched the first of the 4-part series, and I have never watched Wendy do anything, even when she did her own movies, and then she
Right.
did the documentary of the doing of the movies, the behind the scene. I was able to watch them. This one, I had to gear myself up to watch it and to see someone that I just have such respect and admiration for. She's going through it.
We had no idea, because if you're a long time supporter of us, you will know that years gone by, we
Mhm.
actually loved Wendy, and we would always talk about Wendy.
Yeah, and we would always go,
So,
how you doing? Because we love her.
I had no clue that during her run, when she was doing her shows, I'm sure you may have noticed,
Right.
I didn't know that she forgot some of the names and things,
Well,
and she was
it
absent-minded.
was only at the like the end, and Norman, all of a sudden, you knew Norman was there, but you saw more of Norman because they would put the picture up, and she would look at the picture, but she didn't know who it was.
Yes, and then they showed a quick snippet during this one of the part series,
Yeah.
that she showed a quick snippet and she forgot the name, and the two people had to say it in her ear, the
Right.
name of the celebrity or who, whatever
Right.
hot topic she was discussing. So I didn't know that, but we watched all the rest of the
Yes.
episodes.
Yes.
And episode 2 was talking about how Wells Fargo froze her accounts.
Yes. Because
And,
they
yes.
saw what they perceived, the bank, not the family, the bank perceived as someone taking advantage of her. Now, if you have a Black American Express card,
Right.
it's limitless. You can spend as much as you want. If you look at the historical purchases, and while she was in her heyday, the spending was one way, and it's the same, that's not abusive behavior.
Well, I think that the reason why they had suspicion was because she was allowing her son Kevin,
Mm-hmm.
and Kevin said this, that he had her blessing,
Right.
and she approved all his spending
Right.
to do whatever he wanted with the account. He could
Right.
take money out. It wasn't like he was stealing from her.
No.
He was taking the money out with her
Right.
consent, and they're saying that there was like a racking of $10,000 over a period of time,
Yeah.
and they were
Well,
very
like
suspicious.
Uber Eats, and okay, now Mama doesn't cook, so you know she raised him on takeout, but she didn't raise him on McDonald's takeout. She raised him on 5-star restaurant takeout. Remember back in the day when COVID first hit and she was in her apartment, and remember she was eating caviar and crackers.
Yes,
You know, I mean,
yes.
Wendy has always been out there. And, you know, there was one scene where her and Will is her manager, and they're in a restaurant waiting for her son and her nephew to show up. And he's like, okay, what time is it? He goes, where are the boys? They're late. And when Kevin gets there, her son, she reaches her hands out and she goes, hi. And I thought to myself, when my son is that near me, I hug him.
Right.
I couldn't believe she didn't. I mean, that was like I can't believe she didn't hug him.
Yeah. Wendy is going through some things, and yeah, they introduce in episode 2. They introduce her publicist,
Yes.
as well as Will Shelby is her manager, like
and
you
he's
said.
been with her for years.
I do like him a lot, and I
Yes.
think that he is really for Wendy, not
Yes.
trying to abuse her, use her money,
No.
take advantage of her. Whereas this
That's
woman
the
comes along,
publicist.
this Sean Zanotti.
Yes.
She's a publicist, and they show this part where Wendy's completely out of it. She has them driving. She wants them to drive past her studio, where
Yes.
the
Where
Wendy
the
Williams
Williams
show
is.
and Sherry Shepherd show is.
Yes. So that
Yes.
means consciously she knows that Sherry is in the building that she used to be in.
Yes.
So
and-
that was a okay.
Yes, and then they show she wants to get her
her vapes.
her vapes, the blue or whatever it's called, right? So she's saying, she's telling the driver, I want you to drive. Did you pass did you pass my studio, Sherry Shepherd studio? But they're stopping at, oh my goodness, I cannot believe you. They stopped outside the smoke shop,
Yeah.
and her publicist had to go in and get the exact one she wanted.
Right. But she can't remember the name
Right.
of it. She just knows what it is. And so she comes back and she says, this is what the storekeeper says is what you always buy.
Right.
And she's like, no, it's not. Take it back. And she's impatient. Like if she wants it gone, she doesn't want you to say, well, what else do you want? Take it back. Take it back right now.
Yeah, and then she's like, why aren't we driving past the my studio and Sherry? So she goes, drive around again. And they already did drive around. So she's forgetting that they already drove around.
Right.
And then they go, we're back at the smoke shop. So she is like definitely forgetting that they drove around, and she's completely out of it. She's completely doesn't have no idea where she is, what they've done, and she's yelling at them.
Yes.
She is yelling at them, and her publicist is just taking it and doing everything she wants. So,
and the other thing that the publicist, so she goes in, she comes back out. If someone is experiencing substance abuse, they shouldn't be vaping.
Right.
If you notice in the show, Will would be like, he'd call the hotels. He goes, I don't want no alcohol in this room. If she ordered a drink in the restaurant, he would excuse himself and he would go make her a virgin one, make it taste like it's real, but no alcohol in it. This publicist, Sean,
she's doing everything to actually enable her to keep doing it. I'm telling you, this is pretty bad because she's getting her to do a lot of things. Wendy's getting this publicist to do a lot of things, and the publicist, I don't believe, is doing the things because she really cares for Wendy.
Exactly.
If you really care for Wendy, you're not going to allow her to drink.
Right.
You're not going to allow her to vape.
Right.
You're not going to. She's kind of like a yes ma'am person.
Yes.
And it's getting really annoying. And did you notice in episode 3, she took her to LA?
Yes, without Will's notice.
And it's like,
or the family, nobody knew where she was.
Yeah, and she allowed her to drink.
Sure did.
At the restaurants. She took her to have a meeting with Universal.
With NBC. Like she's going to start a new show on NBC. She can't remember who she is. She can't remember what she's doing. This woman is letting her have 2 cocktails before the
interview.
Why would you do that? Is as much sabotage as you can think of. I did not like her very much.
So all I could think about was I was getting really angry watching this, especially this part 3, because it was all about her and her publicist gallivanting off.
Right. And did you see the part when Wendy's niece, who is a I guess you say a newscaster.
Yes.
So her niece is her and Wendy, she has always bragged on her show about her niece, and her niece being, a black female on television in Florida, all of that. So her niece comes to see Wendy, and I'm trying to think the first person that comes to see her, Wendy's like, hi. Her niece goes right in, goes up to her, grabs her, and I'm like, see, now that's what I would expect. She hugs her, so she starts talking to her, and Sean is trying to narrate the conversation.
Yeah, she's right there in the room.
So her niece gets up, she goes outside, and she's talking to the film crew, and she's like, she's not going to commentate what I say and how I talk to my aunt.
Right.
That's not going to happen, and she was emotional about it. So I kept thinking, I can't believe Will hired Sean. I think somebody else hired.
Yeah, I don't know who hired Sean
or somebody.
But she definitely did not have Wendy's back.
No.
And Will kept saying that she does not need to be in LA. She needs to be here.
Yes.
Not even thinking about starting a podcast or a show.
Bring her
back
home.
She needs to be with her family because she's not like she used to be.
Right.
And we need her around her family, people that love and care for her.
Right.
And Sean is doing the exact opposite of what he wants. And when she takes Wendy away, what is Will supposed to do, right?
Exactly.
So he's angry, but they're making it out like Wendy is annoyed with him.
Right. Oh yeah. I don't want to talk to him.
Right.
I think maybe it was film 1 or film 2 when Will thinks, okay, if I can get her exercising. I understand she has health issues. He hires a very good trainer. And so, what is, no, thank you. you know, and then like he would push her legs to stretch her, and she goes, "Oh, that feels good. Push this leg, push it more." I mean, she's very bossy. I love her, but I'm like, wow.
She's so bossy that it comes to the fact that everyone, if you know how to handle her like
Right.
a true, genuine person that cares for someone,
Right.
not just yes, ma'am, like Sean is doing, you will get pushback from her. She doesn't like it. She
Yeah.
does not like when you're pushing back, because all
Yeah.
she wants to do is drink and vape and
Sleep.
sleep in her New York apartment,
Right.
which
And
is
that
not good
place
for
is
her.
huge.
It's huge. It has stairs, and she should not be
Because she
up
can
and
fall.
down the
And
stairs.
so Will was like, "We need to sell the place," and even he was sad that they had to sell it. He said it was filled with history, and it was. I mean, she has Louis Vuitton and Chanel laying around her apartment like you and I have.
But
regular,
it was filled with history. But
yes,
it
like
wasn't
where she
good.
went and she got.
But it really was not good for her, because
No.
she said, even she confessed in a lot of the episodes, that whenever she goes back to her New York apartment,
Right.
she doesn't have anyone.
There's nobody
She's lonely.
there. And without her TV, see,
Yeah.
before she had the TV show. So she would go to work, she would work, she could hang out with her staff. The people would line up to see her. She would do meet and greet, so she didn't feel alone.
Right.
And I have to make a correction. Last week, I said that her dad had passed. Oh, I was so grateful to see that he hasn't. It's just her mom. However, she still lost her mom. She lost her show. She lost, from her perspective, when her son was living with her and going to school locally, and then he moved out, she lost her son. Her nephew came and stayed with her for a while. He went back to Florida.
Right.
There's one scene where it shows when she goes to Florida to see her family.
Right.
And when she gets there, her dad is like, "Wendy," you know, and he was so happy to see her. And she was so happy to see him. And she started cooking because she likes to cook, apparently. She's cooking food, she's serving the family. And then as time goes, she starts to get her curves back. She gains weight. And then this conservatory comes in and just takes her away. And she starts back to drinking. She's depressed.
She needs to, the whole time they were saying, and we could see, she needs to be around her family, people that care for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed, I'm trying to figure out, Wendy's good friend. They showed Wendy's longtime
yes,
friend.
yes,
I forget
yes.
her name. I have it down. Oh, Regina Shell.
Yes,
Where has she been
yes.
all this time? Is she
Well,
so
Regina
called
said-
as a good friend?
Well, now Regina is her good friend because she used to fly her into the show a lot.
Right, okay.
So she would be on the show a lot. But the thing that Regina said is that when they locked Wendy down, Regina couldn't get access to her.
Okay, so that's
Her
probably
sister
why. Because I was
couldn't get
thinking,
access.
where was Regina? Why didn't
Yeah.
she do anything? They
Yeah,
just
no, she
interviewed-
tried to reach out, and
okay.
she was also the one that said when she first started to engage with Wendy, she knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
She said, "This is more than just alcohol. There is something not right."
And if you haven't watched it, but if you have watched it, did you notice that Wendy kept saying, "I've got to sell my stuff.
Yes,
She has to make
go
money and
through her-
sell." Or she kept saying that, and she kept saying, "Yeah, when I have my show, I'm not going to be wearing my wig.
I'm gonna pull my wig off. I'm gonna tell everybody to pull their
And then
wig
she's
off.
going to show, she's not going to wear the shoes. She's going to show her
feet.
shoes.
She
She's
wants
going
to
to be
be her
dressed how she's
authentic
going to
self.
be dressed.
Well, with her new style is
The
Louis
boots.
Vuitton. Well, those big, huge boots with the Louis Vuitton shorts. She's got on shorts, boots, and a jacket. But she said that's her new dress. She's not going to go back to the old foo-foo dresses anymore.
But it was really sad to see
Yes.
that she was like, her eyes are bugging out.
and her
And
thyroids
she's just
are just out of
she's
control.
just like, they're asking a question, she has no idea. She's like,
Yeah. No. Who was it? Somebody came. Oh, remember when she's in the restaurant and her brother's with her father and she calls her brother Kevin, her
yes,
son's name?
yes.
I mean, there are scenes where you go, oh my God.
She's really lost it, and it doesn't help because Will is trying really hard to to not get her to drink alcohol. But
Right.
every time he's in her apartment in New York, he sees that she has a bottle of alcohol.
And not the, like a little bitty, like a wine size bottle.
The big ones.
She has the big ones, the ones you get at Costco. And then he'll say something like, "Wow, we had a liquid breakfast."
Mimosa. It was a mimosa.
Mimosa.
How big?
She loves, when you see her with orange juice, most of the time it has vodka in it. That's her new go-to because it's clear. And Will, they went someplace. I think he took her when they did her walk of Walk of Fame star.
Right.
And he goes through in the hotel and he's going through and he's looking and he goes, "Wow, they did a good job. They cleaned out the mini bar. They took everything away," because she is so, even her niece said, she's like, she is so powerful. It's like you can't just say no to her, because what she would do is you say no, she goes, no, thank you. No, I mean, she said that so many times.
And I felt really bad for her, because when she went to her star, she was just standing there because she likes fame. She likes people to recognize her.
Yes.
And she was just standing there, and sometimes there was no one there.
Right.
And she was just waiting, standing and waiting. And I'm
for someone to come up and see her and
I
go,
just felt
"Wendy!"
so sorry for her, because it's like she didn't have anyone. And when the people came, she was really happy. And then when they left, you just see her standing there looking really sad.
Because she was expecting hundreds, thousands of people to rush to her.
But she did not look well whatsoever.
No.
She's like completely out of it and not knowing what's happening. And I just, my heart really went out for her, because I didn't recognize her, because most of you probably, like we do, we just know her from the show.
Exactly.
We didn't know anything until this documentary came about, like how she was outside of the show. Yeah. And to see her is like, it's just really my mouth is dropping.
Well, see, but even outside the show, they used to show her going shopping. Like her girlfriends and her, they would go to a place and they would bring in dresses, and she had a lot of friends back in the day, and she don't have those friends anymore.
Yeah, it's really sad. I don't know why she doesn't have those friends, but it
well, I'm sure some of it is her, because she can be a little bit.
Well, she's a bit over the top. You have to know how to handle her.
You have to say, "You know what? You stay in your lane. I'm going to stay in my lane." It's not going to work.
Well, I think that if you know Wendy, you need to understand and not judge her, because she's got this disease that's causing her to do this.
Yeah, frontal dementia.
What is it called? It's called frontal temporal dementia and aphasia.
Yes.
And it's caused by, I did some research, and it's caused by shrinkage in certain parts of the brain.
Right.
And it can lead to trouble communicating and changes in personality.
Right.
And we've seen that with Wendy.
And Bruce Willis has the same condition. And Bruce is not, he still looks the same. He's a little bit more calmer. It's very hard on his family, because there are good days and there are not so good days. So I really, in my heart, I believe Wendy needs family. When her sister said for Wells Fargo to think that they could take better care of her sister than she could, she goes, and here they are letting people do documentaries of her taking off her wig and saying, "My name is Wendy Hunter." No, it's not. That was your married name. You're not married to Kevin Hunter anymore.
Well, she wanted to call herself Wendy Hunter when she had the new show, not Wendy Williams anymore.
Right. And so that's why she wanted to change that. And then, she's wearing his robe. And I'm like, if I was divorced, I'd burn that or I'd donate it.
She's not in her right state of mind, frame of mind.
I mean, on one hand, she doesn't want to be with Kevin because he had the other woman with the baby out on the street. He is another piece of work. I mean, if you've been married to someone, you know secret things about them. And I don't know if on the outside in their conversations, he's like, "I don't love you anymore. I'm trying to be respectful, but I'm moving on. I got a new woman. I got a new baby coming." Wendy worked so hard. She had 2 miscarriages 5 months in. 2 babies she lost. She lost more than that, but 2 of them were viable until 5 months, and she lost them.
Yeah, it's really sad that the reason why he's gone off is because he can't handle her anymore.
Right.
So I mean, I know that there are relationships where the ex-husband or ex-boyfriend still cares dearly for for their partner ex, and they're still there for them. But I think he can't handle it. That's why he said, "I'd rather wash my hands of it than deal with all this." And because her situation is getting worse and worse, it's not getting any better. There's no cure for this. Well, I beg to differ that she could be doing a lot because her alcohol. If she
had family around her.
Well, if she had family around her, she really needs the family.
Hates alcohol.
Right.
So if he's around the picture, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And did you see there was a part where they were interviewing her nephew, and he said, "I don't really care for my uncle and his treatment of my aunt."
Yes.
I mean, and then the 2 glasses of wine come to the table. And the boys' faces are like, "Who ordered that?" And so they both take the wine glasses and they order her a Coke.
Exactly.
They're trying to do whatever they can to keep the alcohol out of her. And, like when Sean was in charge, she'd get there and Will would say, "Well, where is she?" And she's like, "It's not a good morning." And she's in the bathroom throwing up,
Well, Sean... Yeah, I know why she was there. She was trying to please Wendy so that Wendy would keep her around, so that she would get paid by Wendy. That's all what it boiled down to was the money.
Yeah.
She didn't care about Wendy's health or well-being. She just wanted the money.
Right.
Because if you really cared about it, you'd have to do tough love and not give her the alcohol or let her do what she's doing, and you wouldn't let her be the way she is. But obviously... But then, when you go to episode 4, the 4-part series, the docu number 4, you don't really see her that much.
No, it's like Will got rid of her
Yeah.
after the time that she took, and I would have done the same thing. She took Wendy to L.A. You don't see Sean anymore, and I'm sure when she got back to town, Will tuned her up.
Yeah, she's probably like, "You're gone.
Yeah,
you're fired. That's it."
I mean, why would you let someone? I mean, the whole premise that she was going to get a new show with NBC. NBC is huge, and you're going to let her drink, and you're not going to dress her appropriately.
Yeah, she was all for whatever Wendy wanted to please Wendy so that Wendy would say, "I like this girl, she's on my side, and I'm going to keep her so that she can get all that money, get paid." I don't know how much she's getting paid, but I think she was young. She was young. She looked like acted maybe young.
Yeah, well, she did. Like she would, tell Wendy, "Well, you don't want to drink too much because you have the appointment coming up," and she'd be like, "I know. I'm only going to have 2." And if you've ever been around someone that has a problem with substance abuse, they can't.
They shouldn't even have 1.
No.
They shouldn't even have anything. 0 is what they should be having.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that this Sean lady is gone.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to watch because when you see Wendy just spacing out, her whole, she couldn't even understand what people were saying.
Remember the scene where they take her back to New Jersey and they're standing on Wendy Williams Way.
Right.
And this lady is talking to her and Wendy goes, "Yeah, this is where I was born." And she goes, "No, you were born down the street." She doesn't even remember the house she grew up in. And then they go to the house and the family that's in the house and they're like, "Wendy Williams grew up in this house." They had no idea of the history of where they were living.
Right.
And so, she went into the house. There were and another thing, all 14 years that Wendy did the Wendy Williams show, every day she did the show, she said, "How you doing?" She never said that in all 4 series. When people would say, "How you doing?" she'd go, "Thank you." But she never said it back.
She never
never said, "How you doing?" And she said that every show, 5 shows a week.
So her brain is kind of shifted, and she's not quite where she used to be because she's not her old Wendy self. You know that already. So so it's very sad, just little things. And then they kept showing pictures of when she was younger.
Yes.
Like years ago, and her eyes weren't as big as they are now.
Well, apparently alcohol affects your thyroids.
Yes.
And that's what's making them protrude
Well,
even
her alcohol is pretty bad for anyone.
To be drinking 2 bottles of vodka in the morning.
It's inflammatory to your body. It's just terrible. That's why she's getting dementia, because it's actually exasperating it. It's making it
I
worse.
wonder, I mean, I understand with dementia because my mom went through it. I wonder if a lot of her conditions are due to bad choices. If she was allowed to live with the family and her sister, because I don't think her sister would allow Wendy to do all this stuff.
Yeah, and I think that she'd been drinking. I didn't know this, but watching these docuseries, I realized that it wasn't just recently that she started. It's like
Right.
way back she started
Well,
drinking.
remember when she said, "I've been in a sober house. I'm not doing drugs.
Right,
You know,
right.
that's not the problem." But I was watching when she passed out. I was watching that live, and I thought when she had Halloween, the Statue of Liberty, and they kind of alluded to the fact she said she got overheated. They alluded that was not the truth. So she started doing it, and like when she would forget names and things, they said it would be because she had been drinking the night before.
Yeah.
And sometimes she would drink all night, and then she would get to the studio and they would have to put her together. And that's when the producers decided they couldn't do it anymore. And it was at that point that they decided they were going to cancel the show.
Oh, so that's when they started having people sub for her.
Yes. They started out with the subs, but they also, while they were having people sub, they were looking into the whole situation.
Right. It's so sad. I'm
It's
telling
so
you.
sad.
But there's hope because
Yes.
towards the end of the number 4,
Yeah.
it seems like that she was agreeing that it's best for her. Wendy herself was saying it's good that she should be around her family.
Absolutely.
Because before she never said that.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 2 to 3 where she's laying in bed and she's crying and she goes, "I miss my family."
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can you watch that and not want to do something to get her back to her dad?
Yeah.
You know, he has dementia. Eventually, he's going to forget who she is. Let that woman spend as much time with him as possible before their conditions take them to where they don't even know each other.
So we'll have to keep an eye on, watch out for what's happening with Wendy now, because that was filmed a while ago. So between that, the last filming of episode 4 and now, I'm just hoping that she's only gotten better and she's with family, surrounded by the people that love her.
Well, they show her niece was on The View. And when she was on The View, she was saying that they still don't have in-person access to Wendy. They can talk to her, but they can't see her.
So where is she living? Because I know she moved out of her apartment.
They put her in the new apartment, and I don't know if Will is still around taking care of her, but they moved her stuff. I don't even know if the stuff has been unpacked. She is in a care facility. She is locked down.
Oh, so she's living in a care. She's been living in a care facility.
She's been living in a care.
So
and her sister did say that, you know, she's coming back. She's starting to sound like herself.
Yeah, she did say that, which is good, which is hopeful. So we'll have to keep an eye on what's been happening, and
you too, keep an eye. And if you hear something, just hit us up and say, "Girls, go check out blah blah blah," because you know, Wendy, you are so endeared and loved, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. This is not an easy task. And Will, you know, you might not get attaboys or job well done. From what I saw in the documentary, you love Wendy, and you are going to do whatever you can to help her.
Yeah, he did tough love.
Yes, he did.
But that's what you need. If you really care and love someone, that's what you have to do.
Yes.
And no matter how they yell, how much they yell at you, how much they hate you. See, he was saying all this all along.
Right.
He cannot be over there. He needs to be with family.
Right.
I mean, she needs to be with her family that love her, not
stuck away somewhere.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to watch, and when we hear something, because a lot of the morning shows are still talking about it, and like I said, her niece was on The View, and she's done some of the nighttime shows. People are now aware.
Yeah.
So I think people are, when they see Wendy, they're going to be more like, "How you doing?" versus Wendy Williams. No, she needs some love and support right now.
Yeah.
Woo, that was heavy, let me tell you. So I want to shout out girl power. We're always about girls because we're girls. So there's a young lady. She's 22. Her name is Caitlin Clark. She's from the University of Iowa. And during the All-Star game, they had a shootout between her and Steph Curry of our Warriors. And they were like, oh, you can shoot from the 2-point and we'll put Steph at 3-point. And she's like, well, that's not fair. She goes, wherever Steph goes, that's where I want to go. So she comes out and she starts shooting. I mean, the first 3 balls are just all net. And I thought, uh-oh. Even Steph said, uh-oh. And so they did the shootout and he won, of course. However, she was the first female to ever take on a male in a direct one-on-one. I think each year they're going to try and do something else. Because they both, as they're walking off, embracing each other, Steph's like, we could do this again. And she goes, I'm down. So she also, there was a standing, I guess you would say, highest score standing. And it has been in place since 1997. And it was held by Pete Maravich. He scored in one season 3,667 points. Well, on Sunday, during a game against the Hawkeyes, she scored 3,685. So she beat his record. Wow. So now she's number one. The fact that she's a girl just makes it even extra special. But she's number one. And she finished her regular season as the unanimous Big Ten Player of the Year. And she earned the first team all Big Team honors from the coaches and the media. I mean, you know how when sportscasters are like, oh, 3-point shot, oh, that's good. When she's on the floor, they are just screaming. And they're saying things like, who would have ever thought that a girl would be number one?
Yeah.
I mean, she has the capabilities to surpass maybe even a LeBron. She's only 22. She's doing so well that she is going to come out of college and go straight into the pros. So I don't know who's good. She put her name on the ballot. I don't know what team is going to get her, but she is just, I mean, she just walks up, she gets to 3 points and she just lets the ball go. And I mean, it's just amazing to watch. It's all net.
Yeah.
So
very good.
Number one all-time female scorer.
Yes.
So congratulations. We applaud you. We think it's just phenomenal what you're able to accomplish. And then, continuing in the spirit of girl power, so you know when Taylor Swift decided to take her concert and make it into a movie.
Yep.
Because so many people can't get the tickets. And a lot of them couldn't afford the tickets. Even if they got the tickets, they couldn't afford to buy them. So she put on a movie and she created this movie, and then she went and worked with AMC Direct.
Right.
And working with AMC Direct, lo and behold, here comes another queen, Beyonce. And the two did the same thing. They worked with AMC Direct. And I'm happy to tell you that the AMC CEO, his name is Adam Aron, told analysts that AMC sales revenue increased by 12%. And the theater report, you know how you have to report your matrix, your numbers. So they reported that they had total revenue of $4.8 billion last year, which was up from 3.9 in 2022. And before the girls did their movie concerts, AMC was losing a lot of business.
Yes, they were.
I mean, they were just bleeding. In fact, they went down from losing 577,000 to 396,000. No, millions. Yeah, because they make billions. 577 million down to 396 million in their losses. And the CEO attributes the fact that they were able to increase sales to the ladies' concert movies.
Very good. Very
so,
good.
You know, things may not always look as we expect, but things happen just as they're supposed to happen. So, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, what you're doing is amazing. And both of you are doing things to change and to shift the communities around you. And we applaud you because in our times right now, very few people are trying to help their fellow person.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, thank you.
Yes. Our weather patterns are continuing. We had a dry day yesterday, and it's cloudy, and it's gonna, start
It
raining.
poured with rain this morning. Came
Sure.
down in buckets.
Yep. So we're back into our rain cycle. Remember we told you that the Sierra was forecast to get between 6 and 12 inches of, feet of snow. Well, Tahoe got 14.
Yeah.
Reno is like down. The mountains, like Tahoe is up here, Reno's down here. And what happened is, I have a girlfriend who lives in Reno, about 10 miles outside of town. And she said, I told her, I said, well, you're going to get snow. And she goes, not now. She goes, yeah, it's snowing, but it's melting. So she sends me a text message on Sunday morning, and it starts out, oh my God. She, at her little house, she received 2 feet of snow. So she goes out, she shovels her driveway, and she thinks everything's good. She goes back in the house, she cooks breakfast for her husband and her, and she looks out the window, and a foot of snow is back. That's how fast it was coming down. So luckily for us here in Northern California, the snowpack in January, we were way low, like under 50% low. Now we're 100 and some percent high. So it should be a good season for us for water, and it should be a great season for skiing.
Yes.
They showed the lifts. The lifts are so full of snow.
And it was too windy for them even to go on the lifts.
Yeah, and that's what they said. A lot of the snow it wasn't necessarily coming down. It was the wind just blowing.
Yeah, so they couldn't even ski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
crazy.
Have you ever skied? Do you like skiing?
To be honest, I don't like skiing. I've gone sledding.
Okay.
Even that I won't do that again. I did that one time. I mean, I'll do it, but I don't like the cold weather. I don't like having to bundle up, getting all that gear, and then going traipsing all the way there, and it's freezing. See, it's just not me. There are people that like it, and that's fine. They can stick to that. I'll stick to just, if I have to go on vacation, I'd like to go somewhere warm. That's what I like.
Okay. Well, I tried to learn once, and I was very nervous, and so everybody is eating all this food, and I had like some French fries because they said you have to eat carbs. These people are eating pancakes and eggs. I mean, hash browns. They're eating, and I'm like, dang, y'all eating a lot of food. And then I went out and I got on the skis, and I was taking a class, and I'm in my stance, and I start skiing backwards. And so, because the ice underneath my skis is melting, because I'm just so scared. So I fall, I get up, I fall again, I get up. This young man comes over, he goes, excuse me, ma'am, is this your ski pole? And I was like, screw that. And I was done. And I was shaking because, just so you know, you really have to carb up. And I didn't get the memo.
Well, the issue here stands that if you don't know how to ski, which is why people take skiing lessons, my problem is the majority of the time you're sliding and falling, trying to get back up, wasting your time.
Right.
That's the whole time you're falling, getting back up, falling, getting back up.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm already exhausted trying to get back up every time I fall. So I don't need to do that.
So if you have an experience of skiing, share it with us, because everybody they told everybody Thursday, do not come to the Sierras. Do not get on Highway 50. Do not get on Highway 80.
Oh, I had someone that
Did you
went
see
to
all those
Tahoe.
people that got stuck?
Yeah. We were going out to dinner, me and some friends, and one of the girls couldn't make it because she said she's going to be in Tahoe.
Right.
So I haven't heard. She went on Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday was the day.
There were people stuck up on the mountain for 3 days.
Wow.
Like those big wheel trucks. If they have like a sleeper and all that stuff, they have like a little microwave. They can survive. But it was really bad. So don't go up there. So, as always, we like to leave you with a little sharing of who we are and what we do. So, my name's Gloria Webb Williams. I am the owner of Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural. It's an all-natural mineral makeup company right here in Santa Clara, California. And I wanted to talk a little bit about when people say this is good makeup, this is not good makeup. What do they mean by that? You'll hear people say women of a certain age should only wear cream makeup. They should never wear powder because powder accentuates the wrinkles and make you look old. Okay. The most important thing about whatever you buy is ingredients. Read the ingredients. I want you to always think about what is in this product. And if you read the ingredients and it's kahupa havataba, and you go, what is that? Because some of the names are so long and you try and sound them out because you have no idea what they mean. Everybody's got a phone. Take out your phone, take a picture of that word, or take the Google, go to Google and Google that ingredients. And one of the things that you will find, if it's inert to Mother Earth, like my minerals are, then it's very easy. Mica, that's very easy to look up. But alupa goopa dupa, that doesn't make any sense to me. And you could have an allergic reaction to a non-organic ingredient just as fast as you can, and that'll cause your face to break out or to have, different markings associated with what you're using, as well as if you are not buying high-end, high quality. You can go to Sephora, Nordstrom's, Macy's, and you can buy crap. Hate to break it to you. There are people spending hundreds of dollars for products that's just not good for their skin. So the key for today, ingredients. Know what the ingredients are. And not just, a lupa dupa dupa. Oh, I know what that is. That's just a fiber. It's okay. But what does that fiber do within your body? That's what you have to ask. Remember, 3 seconds on the skin, it's going in. And if it's going inside your body, please know what you're putting on your body that gets absorbed into your body. Gloria Webb Williams, Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural, and that's my tip of the day.
Thank you so much. And I'm enjoying this tea as it's getting colder. I can now taste the ginger and the licorice.
Yes.
And I just realized that in the past, we like certain teas because they have sayings on them. And I realized that this one has sayings on it. So my one says, without gratitude, there is no prosperity.
Wow. Uncage your heart. Free your heart. Let it be wild. This is very appropriate.
Yeah.
If you knew what was going on in my life right now, you would be going, because this is an aha moment.
Yeah. I'm glad I looked down and saw this. That's what we like.
Yes.
On our tea bags. But I'm Rosetta Chow, certified health coach and educator. I love to educate. And my tip of the day for everyone out there, health tip, is related to dementia and Alzheimer's. And I've mentioned this many times. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm going to just say it like it is, okay? There's a lot of things that we put in our body that causes inflammation. What is inflammation? Inflammation is what causes disease. Yeah. Over time, inflammation becomes chronic inflammation, and through evidence, science-based evidence, it is known that chronic inflammation causes chronic disease. And what is chronic disease? Anything that a doctor can diagnose you with. And dementia, because we're talking about Wendy Williams and her dementia, is chronic disease. What do we need to do to prevent or mitigate or reduce that risk? We need to be putting the right foods in our body.
Yes.
Because have you noticed that when we were watching the Wendy Williams show, they were saying that they're thinking that it's alcohol-induced dementia.
Right.
Alcohol is something we don't need in our bodies. It is very inflammatory to our bodies.
Right.
I mean, yes, red wine is good in moderation, like 1 glass.
Right.
But not to the excessiveness that Wendy's been going.
Yes.
All of that is going to build up in our bodies and in our brains, because whatever we put in our bodies, it travels to our brain and causes cognitive dysfunction, which is in the long run, Alzheimer's and dementia. So it's really important what we put in our bodies, what we do, because we need to keep our brains healthy. And one of the things that you can do is making sure that what you eat is nutrient dense. Fruits, veggies, legumes, whole food nutrition. If you can't get enough fruits and veggies, it's not instead of, but it is in addition to, is how about getting some omega-3s, fatty acids in your brain?
Yes.
It's very, very crucial because our body doesn't make omega-3 fatty acids, and we can't, we need that for brain function. So get your omega-3s in, but make sure that what you're taking is legit, because a lot of times you get omega-3s and they're from companies that use high heat, very bad fish oils, and those oils go rancid. So you have to make sure that that's, top-notch quality.
I keep my omegas in my refrigerator, so I make sure I get through them before they go bad.
Yeah, and you make sure where they're coming from, because during the process of making them, they could use high heat.
Yeah.
And that's already destroyed half of your omegas.
Yes.
So be careful, get your omegas, and everything you put in your body is going to cause inflammation if it's bad things.
Yeah.
So make sure you're living an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, because one of those chronic diseases can be dementia.
Yeah.
Along with other things, but dementia is one of them.
Yeah.
So that's your tip of the day. Rosetta Chow, your health matters.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I just learned, and I don't want to blow your mind, however, I learned it, and we're all about sharing. Some herbs and supplements are created by pharmaceutical companies.
Yes.
And so where you think, I don't want to take this medication, I'm going to take this herbal supplement or this, vitamin, it could be not the best quality. So not only look at what your ingredients are, see that word again, ingredients, look at the company and see where the company is manufacturing the product. That's also
a lot of vitamins and supplements, they're called vitamins and supplements. Because they're man-made in the laboratory. People with white coats come up with them, and they make it, and they use a process which is chemically processed or whatever to make it. Because if it wasn't, it would say food, real food. So you have to be careful of that, right? Because a lot of times our body doesn't recognize vitamins and supplements because it's man-made, it's foreign to our body.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with us. We had a wonderful time getting connected with you all and talking about Wendy. Our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family. So we want you to know, and we're sending it to Wendy today. We feel the love in this room. We're going to send this love and expression to Wendy and her family, and to Will, and to hold them in the highest regard to do what is best for Wendy's health. And we know this is going to be. We thank you so much for joining us today. And we are grateful that you're hanging out with us.
Yep, thank you so much. And if you liked our video, please like it. Hit that icon, thumb icon. And if you're new or you're returning and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification. And take care of yourself, everyone.
Yes.
And we are Silicon Valley girls that chat over tea.
And remember to always keep smiling. Bye.
Till next time.
See
Bye-bye.
you soon.